Man, they start training camp early. It's early. What's up, Fin fans? Second day of training camp. No pads today again. It's going to be probably the end of the weekend when they wear pads. I realized in my last video I didn't say let's get started. And to all my fans out there, I apologize for the mess up. Before we get into 11 on 11s, just some news. Jake Brendel didn't practice. Supposedly had a calf injury. Nothing serious, but he wasn't practicing today. Without further ado, let's get into some training camp fun. Let's start it all off. Lippett is starting at corner today. Noticed that they're going to be doing back and forths. It's a camp battle. So yesterday Tankersley started. Today Lippett's going to start. And they're probably going to be going in and out, in and out. It's just what you do with a battle. You want to have some equal opportunity competition. Second play of training camp. Cameron Wake chases Ryan Tannehill out of the pocket. Which, he should know this by now. If you get Tannehill out of the pocket, he's better because he hits Kenny Stills for a 10-yard pass. First down. Then Raekwon McMillan stops Kenyon Drake on a nice swing pass for like 3 yards. I'm hearing that he's really, really good at recognizing pass plays to the running back, especially swing passes. So I'm hearing really, really great things about him, which is good because we need that stock middle linebacker. The 3 snaps, Mika Fitzpatrick switches in with TJ McDonald for 1 snap, gets his snap, and he goes back to second team. They're probably doing this with Mika, just slowly bringing him along, getting him in the fold with the first teamers, just because he's going to be playing first team in the season. They're gonna be putting him in, so slowly bringing him along. And Phillips stops Gore at the line of scrimmage. It's a nice stop. Tannehill then throws a pass to Danny Amendola. You're going to be hearing that a lot. You heard it a lot yesterday. And then Mika Fitzpatrick and Calhoun are now in with the first teamers for a play. Play happened, went back with the second teamers. Like I said, they're slowly trickling these guys in to first teamers to get them more used to and accustomed to having different players around them. And then Gachow versus Asiata. Asiata was looking good. He's looking better than he did last year in his rookie year. And then Fails with a nice pass to Isaiah Ford. The pocket collapsed around Fails. He stayed in the pocket, got it out. Nice pass. And then Poling gets an interception, but it was a tip pass at the line of scrimmage. We don't know who tipped the pass at the line of scrimmage, but Poling gets his first interception of training camp. Good for you. You're a late round pick. You need to show them what you can do to stay on this team. And then Joseph's the kicker went 3 for 3. He had a 32, a 33, and a 39-yard, which is good because he needs to stay consistent because Sanders went 6 for 6 yesterday. So if he wants to have any type of competition with this kicking game, he needs to be making them, not missing them. Tannehill fumbles the snap, which is his first mistake of all of the offseason. Tunsil with a nice one-on-one with Quinn. He's getting his legs under him. He's getting better. Drake makes a bunch of nice moves to break it to the outside for a nice gain. And a 15-yard out route from David Fails to Scott. Those are hard to throw, these out routes, because you're throwing across your body and it's a far distance. So it shows Fails' arm and his accuracy. And then Balaj takes a dump pass and turns into something with his speed. So we really got to see his speed and his acceleration, which he's known for, especially in the open field. So we're going to see that a lot of throwing passes, and he'll probably get a lot of screen plays to him during the season. Jordan Phillips with a nice stop. It shows his speed and his awareness at defensive tackle. And then they talked about the fact that Gesicki and Smythe are playing like third team tight end, and sometimes Smythe is ahead or before Gesicki. I will talk about that when it comes to comment of the day, what I think about Gesicki, but just mental note. Brock Osweiler with a nice bomb to Francis. Let's see if I can say this guy's last name right. Awusu? Francis Awusu. I think I actually got that one. And then some bad news. Joseph goes on a tear, right? He makes his next field goal. It's a 33-yarder. He's 4 for 4. Then he misses the next 3 in a row. Like I said, if you want to compete with Sanders, who just went 6 for 6, you can't go 4 for 7. Then they took a break, a heat break, because it was hot as balls in Florida right now, especially Miami. And if you don't take a break, you're going to get cramps, you're going to get injury, you're going to get, people passing out. Some people have actually died from overheating during football practice, so they took a break. Then when they came back out, Drake hit a 15-yard run on the outside, so it's like, hey, take a break, hey, come back, show me what you got. Well, you show me what you got. Gotchow stops Frank Gore in the backfield, so the defensive tackles are looking pretty decent. And then Ted Larson was put in with the first teamers at left guard, where Sitton's position, I thought maybe they would put him at Davis's position, but they put him in, and we're assuming that he is only in there because he made the comment about the alleged competition at guard. Well, here you go. Let's see what you can do. Then there's a nice screen pass to Kenyon Drake for a first down. I'm liking that these screen plays are starting to work. Maybe it's because we have some more athletic centers and guards that can pull out and block the screen. And then Mika Fitzpatrick and Smith are now at first team safety again for one play. Like I said, they're going to be putting him in and out, in and out, in and out. And then Brock Osweiler hits a bomb to Isaiah Ford, who gets hurt. Now, it wasn't his legs or anything, so it wasn't the same injury as yesterday. Trainers went over to check on him. They had him squeezing their hand, so it seemed to be a shoulder injury. Gets up, walks off the field. He eventually comes back, is stretching, rubbing his shoulder. So he probably will be sitting out tomorrow. He's done for today. Why he sit out for tomorrow? Just for precautionary reasons. Then David Fales throws an interception to McTeer, and it was a pass to Jakeem Grant. And Jakeem Grant looked open, but McTeer has that speed, came in, picked it off. The kid has been playing really good in all off season, so don't be surprised if you see him playing with the starters. Our secondary looks really good. Really good. We have a lot of great talent, and we have a lot of unknown great talent. Then Awusu drops a bomb from David Fales, and the other thing that we noticed is that Ryan Tannehill is the only quarterback on this team so far in the offseason. Is it the offseason or is it just training camp? Has not thrown an interception. Good for you. Then Hayes and Cameron Wake off the right side would have sacked Tannehill. In the very next play, Cameron Wake would have sacked him. I don't know. Again, this could be because they're not wearing pads or what, but this defensive line is eating. Tannehill passed to, can you guess who? Danny Amendola. Raekwon McMillan blitzed on this play. Blitz was picked up. And then David Fales throws a seam pass to Albert Wilson, who beats double coverage, catches it for a 40-yard touchdown pass. Albert Wilson has ridiculous speed, so expect this a lot from him. I'm very excited to see David Wilson play. I'm very excited in 2 weeks to see him physically play when we face, I think, the Bucks. And then Osweiler with a nice pass to Albert Wilson. Seems like Osweiler kind of redeemed himself for yesterday with that caca-ass day. Today it seemed that the offense won this day, whereas yesterday the defense was dominating. Some of the top performers from today are Albert Wilson with that nice burn of the double coverage, getting that touchdown pass. McTeer, I think I'm saying his name right, multiple interceptions. And then Poling with his first interception. Now let's get to Adam Gase's press conference. So he starts off by talking about Raekwon McMillan, and he says he's seen everything he needs to say from McMillan. He sees that he's healthy, he's playing well. Next thing he needs to see is game time. He needs to see him play in a game. I think we all want to see him play in a game. He also said that he is limiting how much he needs to think about things. So he wants him to play all instinctually and use his skills, which is good because you don't want him to flub or stop for a second to think about what he needs to do. He said that Jordan Phillips so far has done great things. He does things that you don't see a lot of other guys do, so that's good. Again, the defensive tackles and the linebackers are the only part of this team that make me queasy. Now it's kind of the tight ends as well. I'll talk about that in a second. He has no complaints about Minkah Fitzpatrick. He says that Minkah Fitzpatrick is always working hard to not be the weakest link, which is good. Very good. Adam Gase said he's actually going to run the ball, which, please, because the run sets up the pass. And you have very capable running backs in Frank Gore and Kenyon Drake. We have two different versatile style running backs in Frank Gore and Kenyon Drake. So please run the ball. He also said that Albert Wilson isn't making the same mistakes he did in the beginning of spring. He's looking really good, much better. And he said deciding between David Fales and Brock Osweiler, he said he needs to see more, but see more buts. He needs to see more. We all know that it's David Fales. Unless Brock Osweiler for the rest of training camp and preseason just throws nothing but touchdowns, it's David Fales' job to lose. Come on. And he talked about how Mike Gesicki lost his legs under him. I think it was yesterday at training camp. But he said that it's growing pains. Again, I will talk about this in about 2 seconds. And then he finally said Gore is the last person he would ever question, because he's ridiculous and he's good. That was day 2 of training camp. And now we go on to comment/question of the day from you guys. This one comes from, I'm assuming it's Jorge Uribe. He asks me, why isn't Mike Gesicki starting? Is it because he's a rookie or what? If you notice, I kept saying throughout this whole video, I'll get to that. He played for Penn State, and he played very well. He was a very good pass-catching tight end. But in college, they simplify play calls and what they want you to do to get the best productivity out of you. When you come to the NFL, the only person that they really do that for is the quarterback. They try to make the offense around what the quarterback can do. When it comes to tight ends and when it comes to receivers and running backs, they need to learn the scheme that they're now being put into. So I'm thinking it's taking Gesicki a little bit to learn what he needs to do when it comes to route running and especially blocking. I get that a lot of people say, just put him in the slot. He did that in college, this, and that. But they didn't draft him as a slot receiver. They don't need a slot receiver. They need him to play tight end. He's a big-bodied guy that could play very well at tight end and can block very well. So, I'm thinking that they're moving him along slowly because they want him to develop into that all-around great tight end that can block and use his body and run different routes. That also might be another thing. People are worried that we drafted him in the 2nd round. He's not going to see the field. He sucks. Oh my God, we just wasted a 2nd-round pick. No, you don't want to rush rookies into playing when they're not ready, because then they look bad, and then when they look bad, people start talking shit on them, then their confidence is shot, and it's a downhill slope. Let the dude come along how he's coming along. I trust Adam Gase, so let it happen. We'll see what happens in preseason. We will see him more in preseason than any other player if he's not the starter, because comes August 9th when we play the Bucs, starters are barely going to play. Tannehill might not even play. Then you got 2nd preseason game, a little bit more, and then that 3rd preseason game against the Ravens. Like I said, like everyone knows, starters are going to play about more than a half. So we will see Gesicki more in the preseason. Don't worry. But that's the video. Comment below, ask me some questions, or comment in general. And if I like what you ask or what you comment, I'll answer it or I'll address it here. Hit the like button. Let me know what you guys think about practice today. Let me know what you guys think about what Adam Gase had to say. Practice was good offensively. It was a bunch of nice plays. Hit that subscribe button. Football season's here, so you're getting more from me. You're getting more out of me. Preseason will be here. You can get my reaction right after the preseason game. It's going to be awesome. Follow me on Twitter. I always put it right here. Follow me on Twitter. so I can figure out what day to do the live stream for the fantasy draft. It's probably going to be that last week in August, just because I like to draft my fantasy teams after the 4th preseason game. Maybe I'll do it after the 3rd preseason game, because with injuries and stuff, all of a sudden you draft. If you already drafted your fantasy team, you're dumb as hell, because your top guy can get injured in preseason. So it'll probably be after the 3rd preseason game. We'll pick a time span in between the 3rd preseason game and the beginning of the season to draft our team. Follow my second channel, The Bit Boys. I'm getting Madden. I pre-ordered the Hall of Fame edition, so I get it on the 7th instead of the 10th. So we will have Madden content out. We're going to be opening packs. I'm going to play some people online, and then my 2 buddies on the Bit Boys have never played Madden before, so I think I'm going to have them play head-to-head and see how that goes. Should be a lot of fun. We're also going to do the long shot story on the Bit Boys, so go subscribe to the Bit Boys. That will be coming very soon. And other than that, I appreciate you guys. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Keep churning. If you want to help this channel grow more, share the channel with all your football friends. Again, I'll answer any question that's not just Dolphins. Maybe I'll start doing, when the season starts, I'm going to pick all the games. So, but yeah, I will probably see you guys tomorrow. Training camp is, again, tomorrow. But other than that, like usual, you guys are the best. Fins up. If you're expecting pads today, don't. They didn't practice with pads today. It was just training camp. So essentially, it was just another day of OTAs. And if I sound like crap and I look like crap, well then you're crap. So we're going to start this jam off with a few tidbits before we get into the 11-on-11 drills and I start talking about